Hi there and good morning. I hope that you have had a great week and that your weekend is announcing beautiful projects. This morning's live with Sara is going to be really rich in terms of content, as we're going to tackle, of course, the aspect related to luxury retailing, and more specifically, we're going to look at the role of innovation and maybe the influences that it's going to have on the physical store, the online store, consumer behavior, all of this in a luxury context. The Love with Ghalia luxury edition hopes to focus on brands at luxury industry levels to see how they differ from other types of brands, maybe lower end brands or prestige brands, etc., and how brands differ in their practices and how they foresee their brand strategies in terms of the retail environment and of course what consumers or their consumers are expecting. So I'm going to be meeting with Sara today, and Sara is going to go into much detail related to the role of innovation in luxury fashion retailing, and we are going to tackle different dimensions throughout this conversation. And Sara, of course, will be introducing herself in a minute and talking about all of this in detail. And moreover, I would like to highlight the role, the professional and academic roles of Sara that are going to explain why this area of research and why this specific talk today. So I'm going to invite Sara in, and we're going to kick off with this beautiful conversation. Okay. Request. I'm
Hello.
sending it. Hi, Sara.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well, and you?
I'm perfect, thank you. I hope that you have a sunny Saturday.
Yes, we have here in Portugal. The weather is very
Yeah,
nice, but we are at home, so
we can't take
no.
advantage from that.
Yes, yes.
For Sara, I have had like a couple of minutes to do a little introduction about the context of this conversation. But of course, I directly leave the floor to you
Yes.
to introduce us to Sara, who you are, your professional status, and your academic status, and then we'll go in depth into our beautiful conversation today.
Yes, okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Sara Teixeira. I'm a young Portuguese woman. I'm 22 years old, and as you mentioned, I think you mentioned before, I am head of marketing and research at the Powerhouse. So, to explain a little bit better, what is the Powerhouse? The Powerhouse is a German consulting company focused on education, research, and innovation. We are on, they have been focused on fashion tech and smart textiles. However, in this new generation of the company, we are open our horizons to think about the creative industry in general as a whole. Yes,
Yeah.
so, and the project I'm here to talk about is our latest trend report, focused on the role of innovation in the luxury fashion retail that is taking place as we speak. And we will probably launch the full report with all of the conclusions and findings in the month of May. But speaking a little bit about myself, so I have a master's degree in marketing management, and I'm developing my thesis right this moment that is focused on the same subject, like the role of innovation in luxury fashion retail. And in the area of marketing, I am completely in love with consumer behavior, future trends, and thinking about the future market. And yes, that is my thing that I'm really passionate about, and I would like to share with all of you.
Perfect, and we're going to do that. And first, let's kick off with the basic question that everyone might ask or might be hoping to get an answer to.
What is the
Why
project?
love
Oh,
before the project?
okay. Okay.
Sarah, what's the difference between luxury retailing and any other type of retailing? Why is luxury so important that sometimes we need to look at it alone and
Yes,
research
yes.
it alone?
So I have this question at the beginning of the research. So I asked myself, what type of retail do I want? Do I want to investigate? So I thought luxury will be much more of a challenge, and I really like challenge because luxury have a consumer that is hard to describe, to have a clue. So I think luxury is going to be like a real challenge in retail because the new generation of consumer of luxury is really changing. And I think that was the main reason that I started this project, focus on luxury.
Okay, perfect. Now, looking back at your project, I know it's still early in stages to talk about any conclusions or assumptions. However, the interest of your research area, could you explain about it a little bit?
Yes, of course. So about our project, is focused on the role of innovation in luxury fashion retail. When we talk about innovation, innovation is a big thing, but we talk about technological innovations.
Right.
So, and much more like consumer innovations. We want to see it at all, but maybe focus on technology because we think like technology will be the next big thing. And our report and research is going to be divided in four main areas. So the first one is going to be focused on the future and role of the physical stores and understanding the
Mm-hmm.
main changes that we are seeing over the past few months. And 1 year has been passed. And the second point is going to be focused on the virtual and online stores that have been
Mm-hmm.
increasingly growing over the years. And the third point will be focused on the trends in general, to retail in general. And we hope to be completely surprised in this point because we have to put together different type of participants to really
Yes.
see what is the future because the future can be a lot of things. So we are really excited for this part. And last but not least, we have the fourth dimension that we're going to rethink the role, format, and function of the store of the future. So
Mm-hmm.
we know that are some of the store of the futures out there. We have the example for Farfetch, but we really want to realize how much the store of the future has changed because in the last few months the world has changed, the consumer has changed, and the retail is no exception. So we want to see what will be the next store of the future based on the new consumer and the new behaviors that we have over the years.
Right. Before tackling into each of these
Yes, yes, yes.
dimensions, I'm curious to know how today luxury brands are responding vis-a-vis changes and to what extent are they willing to inject innovation? Because maybe a decade ago,
Yes.
luxury brands were still like living in their own bubble and they were a little bit I don't want to use the word afraid,
Mm-hmm.
but keen on observing what's the next step. And suddenly we see that luxury is going into innovation, changing their retail online or offline to meet the consumer's needs.
Yes.
So, what can you comment on that?
Yes, and when I start to research this topic, so I read about something called the relation hate and love for luxury to digitalization and technology advances and something like
Right.
that. Yes, and I really think that that is the relationship because we have some brands that are hesitating to adopt new technology and improving their process, but we also have brands that are totally up to so we see the fashion gaming, for example, for the luxury brands. I mean, that is amazing, and that is the some clues that indicate that the luxury will reinvent itself, and the luxury is no longer that concept that we used to have, like expensive things, like superficial, and it's going to be much more. I think luxury will be innovation because I think that is a real luxury to be different.
hmm So let's talk about this innovation variable. The dimension related to innovation in retail has been shaping up our environment
Yes,
lately, right?
yes,
And the physical store, the role maybe of the physical store has also been altered due to these innovations.
yes.
Let's define, Sarah, innovation. What do we mean by innovation? How does it look like? And how does or do brands inject it in their physical retail environment?
Yes, yes. So when we talk about innovations here in our research, of course, in the retail scape, we always think about augmented reality or virtual reality, and we have some examples. Perhaps the in the retail we have the virtual mirrors. Yes. So and we call it like the magic mirrors, and they came to revolutionize. I mean, there's something newer that we weren't expected. So I think that the small changes are the beginning of the big potential that technology and innovation have in the retail sector. But I mean, sorry, but I really have to speak about this because I think it's very helpful. As we work for fashion tech is also an frightening and unrealistic term when we think for humans, when we think we won't wear technology. I mean, we want to use technology, but we are afraid of wear it. So I think
Right.
here in the retail sector is the same thing because we have to look at technology as a tool, only a tool with a function to improve our lives and improve our process. And that's exactly what technology can bring to many different areas in our life, but in retail specifically, can introduce simplify our process, give new consumer experience. And I really think that technology can be really appreciate in retail. For example, in fashion tech, we if we add technology into a sweater, we can have one sweater that's not just a sweater. It can be in different colors, and this can lead to a more conscious and environment friendly thinking. And the same thing happens in retail. A mirror is now just longer a mirror. It can be a consumer experience. I mean, I think technology can really shape retail and how we shop.
But I'm curious because when you're talking, I was like going away into these scenarios. Um, Innovation is related today, now as you have presented it, innovation highly relates to technology
Yes,
or digital insertions into the physical store because still we are into that context. However, when we talk about innovation, aren't we also thinking about new processes in the retail environment? I mean, new ways of doing things, or is it only and highly related to technological
yes.
innovation?
That is what we'll see. Yes, that's what we're going to find out with our amazing panel of participants. But yes, I really think that innovation can add something different to the process, as you were mentioned, not just to the experience, but yes, I think that is going to be really fun to see. Like in May, we can talk again and see, yes, did we discover this and this and that? And yes, you were right, and innovation can help this way. So I really think that we can see it in the future and have like a
Okay.
clear answer to that.
Okay, we're very curious. I mean, I'm very curious to know it.
Me too.
Exactly, because now you're talking about it, and I'm curious to see if people are doing something that's going to lead really to a major change in the
Yes,
retail environment.
we
So
just have
anything
to
else
wait
that
a few months. It's very quickly
yes. So hopefully we are going to do another live
yes,
to discuss all of the
2.0.
results
Yes,
of this research, right?
yes,
And talking about like the physical store, we know that in luxury, the physical environment was also, or I don't know, maybe is still an important variable in the retail experience as customers get in touch with the brand, get in touch with the personnel, and spend really a time that makes their purchases more valuable or maybe give them more value. So, in light of these events, and maybe the fact that we're injecting a lot of innovations, would it change also our perception of the physical experience and with luxury brands?
Yes, I really think so because in our research, based on the dimensions of physical stores, we will try to understand the main trends, take into account the different formats and type of stores. So we are focused essentially on flagship stores, pop-up stores, and the department stores. And
Right,
we are trying to understand the future if there will be new formats that we don't know yet that can be a possibility, and what kind of technological innovations will be mandatory and crucial for the future.
right.
Is it personalization? It is customer experience. We also know that retail, as we speak, is on the omni-channel stages, and we also see theories like the phygital. So we really want to understand what is the next thing for physical stores, because right now the consumer that wasn't adapt to shop online, they are forced to shop online because we are at home. So what can lead to the consumer to visit the physical store has to be something different, because we have the convenience, we have the facilities, we have everything in online. So why go to the physical store? That is what we truly want to understand. And for that, we are going to bring together professionals representing like luxury brands. We also have the academics perspective. We think that is very interesting. And we also trying to have the perspective from the department stores. So we are going to
Mhm.
have a collaboration, for example, for the Galeries Lafayette in Paris. So we think that can be very interesting. And we're
Mhm.
trying to bring together people with different backgrounds, different professional experience, so that we can really understand the future. Because I think that the physical store really have to change so they can face
Mm.
the new consumer, especially in the new generation. Because I speak for myself. Why am I going to the physical store? So yes.
Why are you going to the physical
But
store?
right now I don't, because it's closed.
When it's going to be opening, do you feel that there is something else that you're looking for in a physical
Yes,
store
I
that you didn't find it?
I really think yes, because I mean, for me, I really like shopping online, but I really
Mm.
like the integration of the two worlds, so offline and
Right.
offline. I should bought something and go pick it up at store, but I really like the innovation, so I can pick it up and be like a machine giving to me, or like a process giving something. I don't know, something really crazy, but I think that these details are going to really make the difference for people to walk to the store. So to be
Okay.
something different. I really believe in that.
Right. Okay. And now this other dimension that we were talking about at the beginning of
Yes, the virtual
our
stores.
conversation,
Yes,
the virtual store or the online store.
yes,
And now these online stores have become very elaborate. They have really developed, and we are beyond normal e-commerce websites. I mean, we look at Burberry, we look at Ralph Lauren.
yes.
The experience of the online shopping has really changed. What can you comment on that?
Yes, so for the virtual stores, we are trying to understand the same as physical stores. So what will be the main changes in the future? But in the online stores, with the one format that keep us like really interesting is the virtual stores. We have, for example, the Tommy Hilfiger virtual store. I mean, that is completely insane because we are at home and we enter in the store.
Into the store.
Yes,
Yes.
Tommy Hilfiger is one example because many luxury brands have already had the virtual stores, and we think that that type of store really revolutionized and mind blowing the luxury as we know it, because this is very different. We can have luxury without leaving home, so I think that is really something. And yes, so for this we are going to have a panel of like different professional, as I mentioned. We're going to have someone representing the Obsess, that is the company that builds these virtual stores. And I think this could be really interesting because I mean we are really going to find out what is the main I don't know the word, sorry.
Driver
Drive.
maybe.
Yes, 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 yes. For these brands and luxury brands to adopt these new types of stores.
Right.
Yes,
Okay. And as we mentioned earlier, it's really funny how brand like luxury brands were staying away again from being online and virtual, and now they have created a new
yes,
dimension of shopping online. I mean, it had I don't know, maybe I've always think of Burberry first to everything related to virtual online when they have started really using this technology to either communicate their fashion shows, either
yes, yes,
look
yes.
at,
Everything
right?
started with the fashion shows because the fashion shows
Yeah,
were closed, so they have to innovate and adapt. So I think
yeah.
that was a big entry to make a lot of different things and good, very good.
Right, right. This is really a good thing to talk about. However, with online, we generally tend to attend to a greater audience, right?
Mhm.
How do luxury brands maintain their exclusivity even if they were online?
Yes, that is a challenge, but I really think that virtual stores can respond to that because if you enter in a virtual store, there's no other customer. That's just you.
Mm,
And you can make an appointment to have a video call with
a sales assistant or
yes, and that is completely a luxury because even people that aren't used to go to the stores now can, and they have
yeah.
the opportunity to enter the stores alone and have the luxury experience by themselves. And I really think that can be the thing that's going to be great for these type of innovations in luxury.
But Sarah,
Mhm.
wouldn't be jeopardizing a little bit the halo of luxury brands? I mean, we always felt that going into luxury would have a certain type of reserve. I mean, if
Yes.
I don't fit in, if I'm not well dressed, I won't go to the luxury store today,
Hmm.
or maybe I won't be even admitted, right? And then with the online possibilities, I could, as you said, book myself a private
Yes.
viewing of the collection, etc. And how does the brand know that this target audience or this customer wouldn't be degrading the value of the brand? Or how do they assure themselves that this target audience is the right audience for their brand?
Yes, I understand, but I really think like the luxury marketing strategy is really changing because I saw an app that is really cool. I don't know the name, but I can post it here later, I think.
Yes, please.
It's really great for new generations that I mean they want like a Louis Vuitton, but they won't have the
Yeah,
money to buy the Louis Vuitton at front. So this
right.
app can save us like a small quantity of money for month or per week, and then we can finally buy a luxury item. And I really think that this shows that it's going to be a change in luxury mindset because all of the
Mm,
people, not all of the people, of course, but we can buy
the
luxury.
majority.
Yes, the
Yeah.
luxury can be a lot more accessible. And
Yes.
I really think that is going to change the mindset of luxury. And the new generation is going to change that very well. And I really think that it's necessary because we have to innovate and stop thinking about luxury as a traditional thing and like
Mm, mm,
royalty or something like that. Like luxury
mm.
can be accessible for everybody. I think it's my opinion, but let's wait to find out and have more information. But yes, that little startup companies tell me that the luxury will be completely rethinking their strategy.
Okay. Or maybe I don't know if we can jump into this assumption directly. Maybe
Hmm.
we're going to have more democratization options
Yes,
of luxury
yes.
brands. However, we would still have maybe a need for high-end or very reserved luxury items. I think the human nature wouldn't directly change, but maybe the practices of most
Hmm.
of the brands will be catering for these larger audiences willing to consume maybe lower end
Yes,
luxuries or more affordable luxuries. I mean, let's wait and see. I'm also very curious.
yes.
And now we're talking again about, okay, the online and offline type of brand. We're talking about omni-channel experiences, the physical stores, etc. And amidst all of this, there is the consumer. How are consumers changing today? Is it any type of consumer who's feeling the change, or are we concentrating on millennials or Gen Zers or other types of consumers who are really at the heart of our luxury consumption processes?
Yes. So we are mostly focused on retail, but of course the consumer has a huge part of it, because without consumers we don't have retail, we don't have purchase process. But I really think like the new generation will make a difference, but also the consumer in general, because I really believe that the last few months we have to change a little. All of us change a little bit and try to prioritize different things. And like we value brands, we value the brand's communication. We see brand as a friend, and I think that change in general the what the consumers think about luxury. I really believe that is a general change, and a consumer behavior drift.
Okay. And when we say also about consumers, do you think that consumers are today demanding to get in closer touch with luxury brands through communications and other platforms?
Yes, I really believe yes, because
And how through your research, how do you see that this is happening? Through which channels, or what are the major trends of this relationship?
yes, so our research is basically focused on retail, but of course we can see that communication. I mean, we see it on Instagram, we see it on TikTok, that is a huge potential, but
Yeah.
we see that the brands are changing and are being more closer to the consumer. And I think that all started with the fashion shows, because the fashion shows were something exclusive. We have to have an invitation. And suddenly it became something much public, and everyone can watch the fashion show. And I think that was the big step.
Okay. And moreover, I wanted to know that when we're talking about this new era related to the consumption of luxury and having more affordable luxuries, we see on the other hand an important development of used or second-hand luxury items, and how a lot of customers are really leaning towards these types of websites, like the Real, for example,
Yes, yes.
to buy luxury items, but maybe at a lesser price because they are secondhand, etc. So we're seeing this wave of still wanting to buy that handbag or that luxury item, and on the other hand, we're seeing the important wave of buying less expensive luxury items. So how can you comment on this discrepancy of these two tendencies that are strongly apparent on the market today?
Yes, so I think that this is all about sustainability, and sustainability is going to be, it's a major trend that we hear much among years ago. And I think that the consumer is thinking about more how to reapprove, reuse the product. And I mean, we see Farfetch have the secondhand luxury items, and I really think that is a huge potential, because it seems that the consumer is really changing. Because a few years ago, the consumer of real luxury will never buy a used product. So that means that the consumer is really changing, and the changing is happening right now. And I think that is very interesting, and we can see a different consumer. And I think that, yeah, it will be great to find out more. And maybe in our next live, we can, yes, the answer that the consumer is this and this and that.
Okay, perfect. Now, like explore this fourth dimension related to the study. I know that it's still early to go or jump into assumptions, but I believe that somehow throughout the research
Yes,
we
of
would
course.
have a certain reading maybe. So there is the role, the format, and the function of the store of the future. If we combine all of these elements that we have discussed here, what can we start maybe highlighting or putting forward as the role of the future of retail?
The role of the future of retail. Okay. So, of course, in my opinion, and based on several reports and information that we see coming out every day, focused on this new theme that is the future of retail, we can logically assume that the future of retail is going to be more sustainable, more consumer focused, and with more technology. So,
Okay.
however, for me, the mystery is still on the air because, as we said before, like everything is closed right now. So how, and it will take a while before the things open again. It will take time. So the how are we going to open? How are we going to make something different? Because going shopping has to be different. And this is why we really want to find out. That's why we believe that the physical is not longer going to be the same and the virtual has to continue improving. And but back to the question, according to the information and something that I have read, I truly believe that the social media will be like the new storefront or the new window shop in this retail world. I really believe that. And I also believe that the gaming will be a new form of retail. And I think that is really interesting because we have a lot of new consumers entering the gaming world, the gaming industry. So
How is that going to be, Sarah? I mean, will these gaming platforms are going to influence customers to shop only at the game level, or are they going to maybe transform these customers into potential buyers from the store?
yeah,
How do you think this relationship is going to be built?
I really think that we can dress our avatars on our gaming, and also we can have like replicate that clothes and that products to the real world, so that we
Yeah,
can stay aligned and be the same person as online or offline. So I really think that for luxury, this is mind blowing and a new thing. Like really, the
right,
next
right.
innovation I think is going to be in fashion gaming. I also see like platforms such as Netflix are probably going to be the next retail, like the new retail portal. And I really think that is going to be scary because I watch a lot of Netflix. But I think that's going to be a great potential in here. And we,
Because to make it clearer for those who are attending with us, I mean, we would have the possibility if we're watching and we see like this top, we could click on it
yes,
and
I mean,
go and buy
if
it,
you
right?
are watching Emily in Paris, I think we will probably buy all of the things. But yes, yes, we can see something wearing that clothes and go directly to the website. And yes, because in the future
Yeah.
we supposed to have smart TVs. Everyone's going to have smart TVs and something like that. Yes,
So if we contextualize all of these things in light of omni-channel retail experiences, we believe that these luxury brands would be using all their distribution and communications channels to present their products, communicate them, and give the possibility for the customers to make a purchase at any level or at any touch point
yes.
that it is presenting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I wanted to ask you, and I forgot, it slipped my mind. It slipped my mind. Okay.
That's okay. Give it, save it to the next time.
Yeah, we're going, of course, to be looking at that
Because I
in
really
our.
want to share our findings and conclusions to all of you, and I really am looking forward to it because right now I don't have all the answers. We just have some
Of
clues,
course.
but I think in the future, that live is going to be absolutely amazing because we have the answers, and
Right, of course, of course. That's perfect. I mean, it's really interesting. Not only talking about luxury brands, but talking about all of these changes that
Yes,
the luxury retail environment is undergoing, and how we are rethinking retail management, luxury retail management, in a different way, and a different vision, and so on. What haven't we talked about, Sarah? Is there anything that we should have discussed and we didn't?
I don't think so. We have
We did
your
our
question you that you forgot, but I think that's it. I really think that if people would like, people can follow our work and see our final report, and then yes, we can have an amazing conversation, like lasting like 2 hours or something, talking about all the findings and
the
conclusions.
findings,
Yes,
right?
because I
I
really think
remembered.
that is
I
amazing.
I I remembered, Sarah, the question.
Go, 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 go,
It's the final question
go, go.
because we were talking about social media, etc. And I was curious to know also about the aspect of social selling and luxury brands. I mean, throughout the pandemic, people
Hmm.
were at home all the time, and we have seen that most of the brands have used the live streaming through social platforms to sell or to present,
Yes.
etc. In your research, have you gone through this area? Have you tackled it a little bit? Have you looked at the importance of social selling
Yes, not yet,
with
but
luxury
we
brands?
will because we'll have some representatives from social media companies like TikTok. So I think it's going to
Okay.
be amazing to discover how luxury can enter TikTok and TikTok be the new retail format. And
Yes.
yes, having through social experience and exchanging of feedbacks and something like that. So I really think it's going to be something huge. And of course, social media, I think that will be on the major trends, of course, for
That's perfect.
yes,
Perfect, perfect. Looking forward, I mean, for the conclusions,
yes,
and
of course.
someone else is also looking forward. I'm looking at the comment. Thank you so much, Sarah, for all of these insights, for presenting the study and its dimensions and the areas which it's going to highlight. I'm looking forward to the results during the
Thank
month
you,
of
me
May.
too.
Yes, and looking forward to meet you again
Yes,
to really discuss all of this, and hopefully we can go in depth into each dimension
yes,
and the results that appeared in that.
yes, of
Thank you
course.
so much, Sarah,
Thank you.
for your time.
Thank you. And I really hope that in the future we can collaborate more and, build something together, discover something together. So I'm really looking forward to it because I really like your job. And yes,
Thank you.
thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and good luck with your research,
Yes,
future research. And thank you, everyone, for attending. For those who attended a bit late, I will directly upload this conversation on IGTV and later on YouTube, and we will be resharing the links
yes,
with
of course.
everyone else.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and
Thank
have a great
you. You
weekend.
too. Goodbye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.